Bienvenidos a todos, soy Capitán Pelotas, continuando con la serie de The Council. Estamos viendo, investigando la muerte de Elizabeth Adams, que apareció toda muerta, hecha mierda, hecha crema en el suelo de su habitación. Alguien la mató de puñaladas y queremos saber quién fue. Acabamos de hablar con Von Moller. Von Moller se llama, que es el viejo este que está acá, este de acá, con este, que era su pareja. Sí, aparentemente tenían una relación y bueno, obviamente cortaron. Vamos a agarrar esto a ver si me deja. No, abrojo. No me acuerdo para qué carajo servía el abrojo, pero bueno, tengo que meterme en el inventario y ver para qué mierda, ya que estamos haciéndolo, lo vamos a hacer. Pañuelo de Emily, carta de Piachi, una página del libro, no sé qué. A ver, ¿puedo ver estas cosas? Ajá. Mi inventario, elixir, cura las alteraciones, acá. Revela temporalmente las inmunidades vulnerables que afectan a tus elecciones. Revela. No estoy usando esto, soy un boludo. Próxima habilidad no tiene ningún coste. Vamos a empezar a usar el 3 un poco más, ¿no? A ver, voy a usar uno, para. Ah, por tiempo, mirá. Está bien. Llave semicircular. A ver, ¿puedo pasar acá? Sí, señor. ¿Qué es la habitación de Perú? Mirá, Perú. Vamos a necesitar eso. Espero darme tiempo.
What do you want from me, de Richet?
¿Qué quieren de mí, de Richet?
Greetings. It's fallen to me
Cut the
that...
crap! Get to the point. We both know why you're here.
Gigantes.
And have you got anything to tell me?
What does it matter? It's too late anyway. Do what you have to do and get out.
It's never too late, sir. If you have something to say, now is the time.
You don't understand. Everything's already written. It's over.
Why is he behaving like the perfect culprit? What is it that's already written? I'm not sure I follow you.
No, you don't.
Bueno, a ver, sigamos hablando porque tengo que
All right.
aprovechar
Have you finished?
Not quite. I'd like you to answer a few questions.
Esta no me sirve, inmunidad.
Let's get right to it. Are you Elizabeth Adams' murderer?
That is for you to prove, if I'm not mistaken, boy. You weren't expecting me to do all the legwork for you, were you? Lazy man.
Vamos a sacarnos esto. Encontré su huella en la escena del crimen. Conserva su pistola.
You were armed the night of my arrival. Can I see your weapon?
No.
You do realize you're not helping, don't you? You're making it worse for yourself. I know you were at the scene. We will save a lot of time if you just tell me what happened.
You know nothing at all.
Enlighten me then. For now, I have your footprint in a pool of blood.
That's right. The only thing you can prove is one of my boots was at the scene. Congratulations. You've wrapped up the investigation.
A ver,
A pattern with 4 circles.
4 círculos. Dificultad. Pero, puta madre, no puedo encontrar nada. No puedo abrir ninguna caja. Desbloquear. ¿Qué necesito para desbloquear esas cosas? No sé si nos volveremos a encontrar. En estos momentos me hallo prisionero, atrapado por mis propias decisiones. Debes protegerte. Sin ti no tengo futuro y tú aún puedes salvarte. No importa cuánto rencor albergues hacia mí, debes saber que hice un pacto con el diablo, el que creía que podía controlar. Creía conocer a los monstruos, pero lo que yo hice por Francia no hay nada en comparación con lo que ellos son capaces de hacer. No veo ninguna salida posible. Las mandíbulas se cierran sobre mí. Te quiero, ahora y siempre. ¿A quién escribía eso? No, este Perú no me sirve. O sea, tiene pies grandes, pero no tiene manos grandes también. Estoy seguro que es el viejo arrugado el que mató a la mina. O sea, hasta ahora todo apunta hacia él. Llave de cuatro círculos. Ahí está. Elixir dorado. Bueno, por fin vamos a poder abrir esa caja.
Records of the police. Notes intended for the police lieutenant of Paris.
It's a list of people under surveillance in Paris. And there's some well-known names on it.
This is valuable information. This shouldn't be lying around.
Yo espero acceder al menú. A ver. Diario Perú, Jax. Cuando Lord Mortimer se menciona, me invita a unirse a una... Talento desbloqueado, ratón de biblioteca. Bueno.
Another painting on the massacre of the
Canciller de los
innocents?
inocentes. Qué oportuno. Vamos a ir a hablar con el viejo este, a ver. Ah, para. Antes, ¿dónde estaba la caja? Ahí.
A pattern with 4 circles.
Usando la llave. Bueno, por fin pude abrir una caja.
Dear Monsieur Peru, I'm writing to thank you for the funds you sent. These funds will be crucial for the renovation of the western wing of the orphanage. The children you sent are doing marvelously well, and little Pierre will soon be walking. Some of them still sometimes suffer nightmares about their parents on the scaffold, but I expect they will cease in due course. Should you decide to send us more, please note that another 20 beds will soon be ready. The children and myself will never thank you enough. Long live the Republic. Long live France. Sister Marie-Hélène.
I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later.
O sea, el tipo este ayudó a un orfanato. Bueno, tan malo no es entonces.
All right. Have you finished?
Not quite. I'd like you to answer a few questions. I'd like to talk about the letter you're writing. What woman is it addressed to?
Who says it's a woman? I'm not saying any more. There's no point you insisting.
¿Qué? ¿Marica?
All right. Have you finished?
Not quite. I'd like you to answer a few questions.
Disfrutaba maltratando a mujeres.
Goodbye, sir. We shall meet again.
Probably.
No, pero este tiene zapatos regordos. No, este no es. ¿Es el viejo choto? No, este no es. ¿Y este quién es? Napoleón Bonaparte. Ah, este también podría ser, ojo. Está por acá Napoleón.
Hannibal crossing the Alps. Another military success. Why do I get nothing but visions of horror in my room? And he gets the Battle of Alexander at Issus, or how Alexander the Great triumphed over King Darius. Yet another one with delusions of grandeur. My dearest son, I'm writing to implore you to act quickly. The situation is rapidly worsening here. Paoli continues to steer our motherland, Corsica, toward open warfare between France and England. His men are everywhere. We are obliged to go into hiding and are unable to remain in the same place for more than 2 days. I wouldn't be surprised if they targeted us. Make haste, my son. You hold our destiny in your hands. Your loving mother, Maria Letizia Bonaparte.
It's a beautiful weapon. A lovely damask blade. It's marked with the initials of the manufacturer in Versailles. Carmelite water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost.
Ah, está acá el flaco.
The Prince by Machiavelli. A perfect read for anyone with a surfeit of ambition. That might come in handy.
A bicorn decorated with a cockade. It must belong to a French soldier.
Si aquí hay algo, no. Vamos para este lado.
Vercingetorix throws down his arms at the feet of Julius Caesar by Royer, two great army chiefs.
My dear Napoleon, as previously agreed, I would like to ask you to join us in January on my island to participate in the High Society meeting organized for the occasion. We shall be able to continue our discussion about our project for a new order for France. I have a proposition to make to you concerning your wish to put a strong leader at the head of France. I trust you to be discreet as to your coming. See you soon. Lord William Mortimer.
There's just one holster in Bonaparte's gear, and the pistol is missing. On the other hand, his cleaning equipment is in mint condition. That's typical of the soldier in him.
French actor Talma is Nero in Britannicus, the last emperor of the Caesars.
Amber crystals.
Monedas de colección. Bueno, vamos a hablar con Napoleón.
Monsieur de Richet, please be quick. We are both very busy.
Someone saw you not far from the victim's room. Can you tell me what you were doing exactly, please?
I can tell you that someone is an idiot. I wanted to warn her to be careful. You see, on the night of my arrival, I saw someone leaving her room in haste, and I wanted to speak to her, to warn her. Unfortunately, the young lady slipped through my fingers each time. Now I know why. She had every reason to be worried. What an idiot I was not to insist. I could have helped her.
I've been studying him for a while now, and I don't think he was lying. Yet, I'm surprised how easy it was for me to read him. It must surely be his military side. I wish they all could be like that. My investigation would be finished already.
Ah, pero quiero
Someone
ver si
saw you
reconoció al
not
otro
far
tipo.
from the
Le voy a
victim's
preguntar de
room.
vuelta esto, a ver.
Can you tell me what you were doing exactly, please?
I can tell you that someone is an idiot. I wanted to warn her to be careful. You see, on the night of my arrival, I saw someone leaving her room in haste, and I wanted to speak to her, to warn her. Unfortunately, the young lady slipped through my fingers each time. Now I know why. She had every reason to be worried. What an idiot I was not to insist. I could have helped her.
Were you able to recognize the prowler?
Unfortunately not, no. It was dark, and Lord Mortimer was waiting for me. I was not really paying attention anyway.
Excuse me for insisting, but if you saw him or her, I'm sure you would have more information than that. It's just that you don't think it can be of help to me.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Was it a woman, for instance? Bearing in mind that all the women here wear whalebone dresses, which is rather noticeable.
A man, I should say. I don't recall seeing the silhouette of a dress.
You see, you saw many things, in fact.
Hang on. Laissez-moi réfléchir. Let me think a minute.
A wig? His height? The sound of his footsteps, maybe.
Ah, his height. Oui, somewhat imposing. A tall man, and straight. As for the rest, I don't know, Monsieur de Richet.
Not to worry. That's already quite a lot. Thank you for everything. Did you hear about young Elizabeth?
Indeed, it is deeply regrettable.
Lord Mortimer asked me to...
I know. You no doubt want to know my alibi. I spent the night downstairs playing cards.
Can you tell me who was present at the game, please?
Well, there were Lord Mortimer, President Washington, and Sir Gregory.
Thank you.
Ah, and His Eminence Piaget as well. Excuse me, I nearly forgot him. Poor soul.
Did any of you leave during the game?
Not that I know of, monsieur. I didn't exactly spend my time noting the other guests' comings and goings, but I don't think so.
Thank you. Did you notice anything unusual during the evening?
Nothing at all, except the luck of the devil of Lord Mortimer and Sir Gregory at cards.
Did they win much?
Oh la la, monsieur, they cleaned us out more like. But I plan on getting it all back before we leave.
What time did the game end?
I can't say exactly. As for me, I must have stayed until midnight. I was exhausted, couldn't think straight. So I preferred to go up to bed.
On your way up to bed, did you notice anything out of the ordinary?
No, not in the least. The whole manor was sound asleep.
Not really. No. As any good soldier would, I imagine you own a firearm. May I see it?
Oh, well, if you really want to, here is my pistol. Don't worry, it is not loaded.
Do you have several of these?
In Corsica, oui, but not on me when I am traveling. Only a bandit would carry such an arsenal.
Thank you.
Well, have we finished, monsieur?
Exactly. Thanks again for all your answers. Good day.
Este al parecer no es. Al parecer, no sé. Parece muy inocente el tipo, pero... uno nunca sabe. Vamos a agarrarlo. Inventario lleno, abrojo. Ah, ok. Para, ¿y si me como una de estas? A ver, voy a ir a hablarle un toque. A ver si hay algún cambio.
Monsieur de Richet, please be quick. We are both very busy. Well, have we finished, monsieur?
Exactly. Thanks again for all your answers. Good day.
Nos vamos. ¿Y ahora qué nos queda? Ah, la mina esta. A ver la habitación de la mina esta. No creo que la haya matado la mina. La mina estuvo con nosotros,
King
pero...
George III in coronation robes. Nice touch for the room of an English duchess.
Dear E, I received your last letter. Unfortunately, the Crown informed the Golden Order that our mission should under no circumstances hamper Sir Gregory's plans. Decidedly, they have support from the highest level in Buckingham Palace. So here we both are, hands and feet tied, and little room to maneuver. Keep me abreast of events. Our mission is becoming more complicated. Yours, E. T.S. The French chapter of the Order doesn't appear to know anything about the arrival of our friend Sarah. I therefore cannot comment on it. However, my guess is that she has come here for personal reasons.
Bueno. ¿Paren Gregory es el viejo? ¿El viejo arrugado? ¿Dónde está? Sir Gregory. Sí. O sea que este Gregory estuvo abajo, no la mató. ¿Quién carajo la pudo haber matado? Yo sé que había hecho el otro capítulo, el capítulo anterior.
Hey, a Russian ruble. I wonder what it'd be worth today.
Vieron en la parte en que viene Emily, Elizabeth digo, y nos pide que vayamos con ella y nosotros nos terminamos yendo con esta mina. Bueno, yo también hice esa otra parte para ver qué era lo que pasaba. Y después, si nosotros íbamos con Elizabeth, al día siguiente nos iban a culpar de su asesinato. Entonces por eso opté por esta otra
A
opción.
letter from William Pitt the Younger, addressed to Emily. He's the present Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Emily has indeed some powerful backer. 2 coils circle the lock.
2 círculos decoran la cerradura, pero no puedo abrir nada. Duquesa, puede informar al rey Jorge del apoyo del Santo Padre. Le ayudaremos a financiar el reclutamiento de regimientos de emigrantes monárquicos que luchen contra Francia. Su amigo, su eminencia Giuseppe Piaggi.
A letter from William Pitt the Elder, addressed to Emily. He was the English Prime Minister. A devil's thorn, to be used to uncover the best disguised traits.
Rojo. La loca esta. ¿Hay algo más? Bueno, vamos a hablar con esta mina ahora.
What can I do for you, Louis?
I've come to see you about last night's
Voy
tragedy.
a clavar una de estas.
Did you hear anything about what happened to Elizabeth?
Yes, we all did. Rumors spread quickly, you know. How awful. I didn't know her well, but I hope at least the poor thing didn't suffer too much.
Vulnerabilidad.
Death came quickly. You can be assured of that.
If such a senseless act can happen here, then none of us is truly safe anywhere. Lord Mortimer must be mortified that one of his guests could have committed such an act, don't you think?
He is indeed very upset about it. It's only natural after such a violent murder.
Violent? What do you mean?
Elizabeth was stabbed 9 times.
Oh my God, Louis. How awful. The murderer must have had a serious grudge against her to set upon her like that. It must have been a crime of passion. Do you know what happened exactly?
In fact, Lord Mortimer has asked me to look into this case, Emily.
Really? Are you Lord Mortimer's snoop now?
I'm doing it for Elizabeth, not to please Mortimer.
Good for you. Quite right, too. Have you found out anything?
3.
Since your arrival, did you notice anything strange about Elizabeth?
Everything that happened around that poor child was strange. You saw that for yourself.
I know. You're right. I'm looking for leads to try to reduce the number of suspects.
Well, I would say that in addition to ourselves, you could also cross off President Washington. I went to see him during the night. I had some business with him, and I can confirm that he didn't leave his room all night.
That gives Washington an alibi. Did you and Elizabeth get to know each other?
I must admit, Louis, I didn't take much interest in her. I feel a bit guilty about it, but I never actually spoke to her. She seemed burdened by her problems, and as she wasn't invited to the conference, I didn't really seek her out.
I hear you were in discussions with the Holy See.
Oh, either His Eminence can't keep his tongue from wagging, or you've been poking your nose where you shouldn't, sir.
Even so, Emily, you're raising a royalist army. That's no small matter.
And you are straying from the subject. Is there anything else you wanted to ask me?
I won't keep you, Emily. Thank you for answering my questions.
See you, Louis.
William Pitt, the elder, Earl of Chatham. Emily works with his son.
Bueno. Vamos a salir acá, ¿no? ¿Qué carajo hacemos ahora? Sigamos para allá. ¿Qué habitación nos queda? ¿Esa habitación de quién es? Manuel Godoy. Nuestra. Lord de Richet. Somos nosotros. ¿No podemos entrar a nuestra propia habitación? ¿Qué onda, Polo? Ah, Piaggi, pero tampoco. Piaggi. A ver, acá podemos entrar. No. Acá sí, Washington. A ver. La habitación de Washington Sarlanga. Vamos a ver qué onda. Diario de los inspectores. Vamos a juntar esto. Elixir dorado.
Map of Vermont.
Vamos por acá. Por acá no hay una goma. Acá está la caja esta. Desbloquear. No podemos desbloquear una goma. ¿Qué carajo tengo que desbloquear para...? A ver. Inventarios. Talentos acá. Tengo... ¿Dónde está? Esto es lo que necesito. Engaño. El próximo habilito el engaño.
Portrait of George Washington.
Great, honey.
Bien, vamos a clavarnos esto. Honey, miel. Bueno, acá no hay una goma, así que vamos a seguir hablando con este tipo ahora. Ah, casi hay.
My dear George, I'd like to invite you to join me as planned at my place. I have a project to show you. It is time that the United States played a more important role on the world stage. I understand your reluctance of playing with fire. I know your new country is very young, but rest assured that I would do nothing to jeopardize what we have built together. I look forward to seeing you soon. Your friend.
William, listo.
It looks like a note between Emily and Washington about trade deals.
Descifrar carta.
The English and the Americans are preparing a peace treaty. It would appear that Emily is in secret discussion with Washington about reopening trade between the United States and England. If such an arrangement came into being, France would suffer dearly.
A ver, Washington.
Greetings, Louis.
Mr. President, you can guess why I'm here.
Of course.
Lord Mortimer has sent me to ask you a few questions about last night.
It's... How am I going to tell Elizabeth's father that she's dead?
I know, Mr. President. I shall endeavor to find out the truth about this tragedy. I must ask you to help me, though. Please.
Find the degenerate pig who did this, Louis.
Are you all right, Mr. President? Are you feeling all right?
Oh, don't worry. It's this rotten toothache. What do you expect? I'm no spring chicken now.
Tell me, Mr. President, had you spoken to Elizabeth since your arrival? You know her father. You thought she was dead.
No, I didn't. And I believe I'll be taking my remorse with me to my grave. I wanted to, but I didn't know where to begin.
You can't blame yourself. You couldn't have known that her days were numbered. Were you aware that Elizabeth took laudanum?
Yes, she came to ask me for some. She had finished her reserve, I believe.
¿Sabía por qué?
Did she tell you why she was so desperate to get some, Mr. President?
She said she had terrible migraines that wouldn't go away.
More likely for the voices she heard, not the migraines. Were you aware that Elizabeth took laudanum?
Yes, she came to ask me for some. She had finished her reserve, I believe.
Do you take it regularly, Mr. President?
Unfortunately, I do, Louis. I still suffer from a terrible toothache, and it's not likely to get any better.
It's just for that, then?
Old age, my young friend. I don't wish it upon you, but you'll soon see. At my age, it's rare to have no problems in that domain.
And do you take a lot?
A moderate amount, Louis. Only the dosage indicated on the prescription of my doctor.
Bueno, a ver. Y acá ya no sabemos qué preguntarle, ya está. ¿Algo más?
Do you know if she had any enemies, Mr. President?
Not that I know of. I heard about her altercation with Mr. Peru, but that case was closed, if I'm not mistaken. But if in doubt, I wouldn't leave any door unopened, and I'd go and question your fellow countrymen.
Don't worry. Countryman or not, I'm not letting anybody slip through the cracks.
Sí, ¿no? El tema es quién carajo es.
Do you know why she came to the island?
To get help, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that right?
Indeed. Sir Gregory suggested to her father that he introduce her to Lord Mortimer to see if he could help her. It would appear that she wasn't invited to the conference.
That doesn't surprise me. The poor girl was in no way concerned by our business, and she had no political clout.
So, I don't understand why Sir Gregory invited her during the conference of his good friend Lord Mortimer. He must have realized that he wouldn't have much time to grant her. Preparing a conference does not seem an easy task. On the evening of our arrival, Lord Mortimer didn't even welcome us, what with his being so busy and all.
Yes, you're right, Louis. I didn't think of that. It is indeed rather surprising. The easiest thing to do is simply ask him, you know.
Of course. Mr. President, we found a footprint at the scene of the crime.
Not a dress shoe, I hope. That's all I wear.
No, rest assured. It looks like the print of a big ankle boot. A large size, I'd say.
Perfect. That should help you, Louis. It's a clue.
En serio, gracias por avisarnos, De gran ayuda. ¿Y ahora? ¿Qué vamos a hablar con Mortimer? Ya fue. ¿Y acá quién está? Sigue el fiambre ahí, che. Ah, pero paren, esa cosa en la pared no la había visto.
blood spatter indicates that the murder must have held Elizabeth upright during the attack. Even if Elizabeth wasn't very big, I doubt she wouldn't have put up a struggle. It takes tremendous strength to overpower someone like that.
Si no me dejé nada por acá. No. ¿Dónde carajo estaba este Mortimer ahora? Parte tampoco. Necesito a Mortimer. ¿Dónde carajo está? Emily, no sé cuánto. A Mortimer, boludo. Manuel Godoy. ¿Puedo entrar acá ya? No. Esta es mi habitación y no puedo entrar. Es buenísimo. Acá ya vi que no podemos entrar. Menos mal que trota este, porque si no... A ver... Washington. Pues salimos de acá recién. ¿De dónde carajo está Mortimer? Acá. ¿O es la habitación de la mina? Otra vez. Estoy dando vuelta en círculo, bolón. Vamos a bajar la escalera. Vamos a bajar la escalera. ¿Dónde carajo está la escalera? Pará. ¿Y acá? Ah, pará, ¿pie allí? No, no puedo verlo. Voy a ir para el otro lado mejor, para ver qué onda. Este, habíamos dicho que era Washington, está bien. Esta es la habitación de Emily, no voy a entrar de vuelta. Y acá tenemos la escalera. Así que nos vamos a la garcha. Ah, ¿no puedo bajar? Ah, no me jodas. Ah, acá, a ver. Ahí está. Cierto que estaba arriba. Me había olvidado. Bueno.
I've come to speak about the findings of the investigation, my lord.
I'm listening, Louis.
Will you remind me of the facts we already know about?
Elizabeth Adams was killed last night, but Piaggi was with Holm and I until late at night. As for Bonaparte and Washington, they left us after midnight, both tired.
No tenemos un puto culpable todavía. Bonaparte no fue. ¿Y Washington?
I believe I've identified the murderer.
Really, Louis? All right then. Please think carefully before you give me your answer. This is a very, very serious accusation.
I'm going to need a bit more time to review my findings about the crime.
I do understand. All the more so as it's crucial not to make any mistakes when it comes to naming the culprit.
The nightmare painted by Fuseli in 1781.
What a tragedy, my son. How could such a thing have happened?
That's exactly what I'm trying to find out. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary last night?
I saw the young French soldier, Bonaparte, I believe, hanging around near Miss Adams' room. But I would not want to get an innocent man into trouble, Louis. It's probably nothing.
Not to worry, Your Eminence. If he is innocent, then he has nothing to fear. Do you know why Monsieur Bonaparte was hanging around her room like that?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to learn that the dashing young soldier had become infatuated with a fragile young woman who looked a bit lost. But I don't think he got a very warm welcome.
Bonaparte and Adams? But they didn't even know each other, did they?
I couldn't say, Louis.
Pensando, yo creo que un sospechoso podría ser su antiguo novio.
But if I were you, my son, I would talk to Monsieur Perrault. You remember how violently he set upon Miss Adams.
Oh, don't worry. He's on the list of suspects.
How can I help, monsieur?
Where were you last night?
In my room. I read a few ancient manuscripts before going to bed. But I didn't stay up long. I was tired.
Thank you kindly.
El tema es cómo probamos de que estuvo en su cuarto y no salió.
Did you see how many tattoos Miss Adams had on her?
Of course. Who wouldn't have noticed?
Yes, but I'm sure that an expert like yourself must have an opinion on the subject.
I do. She was seeking to imprison something inside her. Her own body had become a sort of prison.
She wanted to protect herself. Is that what you're saying?
Elizabeth was a flame. A candle in the night. And like all candles in the night, she was surrounded by darkness, by her demons. Call it what you will. One thing is for sure. She struggled against hell and high water not to let her flame go out.
Excuse me for asking, but did you know Miss Adams?
Oh, she... not really, to tell the truth.
Este
No.
tiene botas.
I found the
y
Werther
tiene manos
dedication,
chicas.
signed by your hand, monsieur. Would you like to change your version now?
Be careful, de Richet. Don't push your luck. My relationship with Miss Adams was pure and has nothing to do with you. Well, continue playing the detective as you see fit. But if I find the bastard who did that to Elizabeth, I will...
Yes! I would have preferred a simple response, but I see I have my answer now. We finished. I'll have a look around and then take my leave.
Do whatever you have to do.
Botas. Más sí, yo me parece que me lo voy a jugar, Lo voy a culpar a este, Porque... para mí la mina lo cortó y el tipo, no sé, de odio la mató. Supongo que sí. ¿Y qué más puede pasar? Que sigamos dando vueltas. De última lo repetimos. Bueno, ustedes no. Lo voy a repetir yo. Hasta alcanzar este nuevo nivel. Bueno, vamos a culpar al tipo este. Para arriba, hay que subir. Vamos a culparlo al noviecito.
I've come to speak about the findings of the investigation, my lord.
I'm listening, Louis.
I believe I've identified the murderer.
Really, Louis? All right, then. Please, think carefully before you give me your answer. This is a very, very serious accusation.
It's Volner.
What proof do you have against him?
Necesito 3. Intentó convencerme para que hablara de Adams.
He did try to squeeze information out of me about Adams.
Just as any worthy guest would do. Have you anything else?
I found out that he was in love with Elizabeth. As the feeling wasn't mutual, he could have attacked her out of spite.
Without any proof of what Adams really thought, it's a weak motive. Anything else?
Elizabeth and Volner had an affair right here, which came to an end. I haven't been able to determine who put an end to it, though.
What my guests do in their beds is no concern of mine. But I shall take note, as jealousy can indeed often lead to folly. Anything else?
No, I think that's enough to accuse him.
It's a bit light, but I shall speak to Gregory about it and compare your findings with other information. Given the distinguished guests and the political issues involved at the conference, I trust you will leave me to conclude the case in my own way. Right. It's time we spoke about your mother, Louis.
Claro, ya va siendo hora de que hablemos de su madre. Se está escondiendo. Lo hace con frecuencia. Es que no entiendo. Bueno,
When I first came here, I wasn't that worried. In the past, my mother has taken a few liberties during her missions, including disappearing for several days on end.
That doesn't make me feel any better, Louis.
What was the official reason why my mother came to your island?
I knew about your mother's activities, and yours, in the Golden Order. I thought we had everything to gain by working together.
You mean the canon deal with Monsieur Bonaparte?
Among others, yes. How did you hear about that?
Monsieur Bonaparte came to speak to me about it yesterday, during lunch.
I see. So impetuous. He was supposed to let me speak to you about it first. Our friend Napoleon desperately needed financial backing to properly equip his army. I took it upon myself to back him because I have a firm conviction that he can go far.
We shall see. However, there's one thing that surprises me. Isn't Bonaparte a bit young to deserve so much attention?
Well, you come straight to the point. I like that. Indeed, if you knew just how much you remind me of him. Trust me, I'll wager that Monsieur Napoleon will soon prove himself. I'm working on it, at least. Once this deal was closed, I had big plans for Sarah.
Such as what?
You see, I've invited several influential figures on my island to present them with a project at the conference. It will be presented later today. I thought that the Golden Order had a role to play. And I still think so. I was hoping Sarah would be able to join us.
I see.
Indeed, if by chance your mother decided not to return to us before the conference, would you do me the great honor of attending? If only to follow the deliberations while waiting for her to duly take her seat.
Why not? We shall see.
Ah, thank you so much. In this way, you'll be able to keep your mother informed of what is said. There's something else I'd like to briefly go over. Earlier, you asked me the official reason for your mother's presence here. Is there an off-the-record reason why your mother came here?
If only my mother had trusted me, but she remained very mysterious. I'd have been delighted to answer your question.
Is this usual for her?
As head of the Order, secrets are her bread and butter, as you can imagine. That said, it's the first time she hasn't let me in on the reason for her trip. And it intrigues me, to tell you the truth.
Well, I'm sure that Sarah will explain everything once she reappears. There's something I still don't get. In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
Her not coming back to the manor after so long makes me wonder if she is wary of someone.
Well, certainly. But whom? The only ones who were present during her stay were Sir Gregory, Duchess Hillsborough, Mr. von Wohler, and myself.
It seems you're close friends. What can you tell me about Sir Gregory?
Gregory? Oh, he's one of those cantankerous old men who hates losing at chess. He's a little eccentric and rather conservative. I'm sure you've met the type.
Well, actually, I don't judge people on how they look.
And you do well not to. What with his manner of continuing to wear makeup as he does, Gregory often gives off an unhealthy image. The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. At the beginning of her stay here, we enjoyed spending time together, solving the world's problems.
You seem to know my mother very well, my lord. What did you talk about together?
Oh, as soon as we had a little free time, we liked to share points of view about practically any subject. We would find ourselves embarked on interminable discussions that could go from Monsieur Blanchard's flight in a hot air balloon to the Treaty of Jassy, or the adoption of the metric system in France last year, or even Mr. Eli Whitney's invention in the United States.
The armistice between the Russians and the Turks. Russia's come out of it having officially won Crimea, which gives it direct access to the Black Sea.
And, at the same time, the Mediterranean Sea. I'm worried about the decisions Tsarina Catherine might decide to take. She's a woman who managed to get rid of her husband to accede to the upper reaches of power. Gaining access to the Mediterranean Sea remains her main objective. When she still had that dear Potemkin as her lover, I could always find out about her intentions, but those days are over.
Please, excuse me, but I'm not very familiar with the Russian nobility. I'm surprised she didn't get you started on the Crusades. It was her favorite subject.
Are you joking? Sarah and I spent entire days together reliving them. It so happens that the Crusades are also my subject of predilection, especially the third. My ancestor distinguished himself brilliantly during the siege of Saint-Jean d'Acre.
Unfortunately, my lord, the Crusades are not my chosen field.
Well, it doesn't matter. You have plenty of time to learn. Your mother is a very well-read woman. You're quite lucky to have her as a model, Louis.
Yes, I know, but I'm still very worried.
I must admit, there are worse things to worry about now, Louis.
What do you mean?
Since she disappeared, your mother has been seen once. Her behavior on the evening of your arrival greatly surprised Gregory and myself. She resurfaced to attack Emma, Emily Hillsborough's twin sister. And she shot her with a pistol. Then, before Gregory could intervene, she ran off and disappeared again.
I beg your pardon? Hang on.
That means my vision on the wharf, it was actually happening inside the manor. Mother shot Emily's sister? The very person she came looking for? Why would she do that?
Excuse me, but between that and the childhood of Lady Adams, it's all a bit much for me to cope with. I need to piece it all together again to see things more clearly. You said that you spent a lot of time talking together at the beginning. What happened for that to change?
I'm afraid I haven't much to tell you. The more the days went by, the more she withdrew into herself. She never gave me an explanation, until the day came when she purely and simply disappeared.
Where did she go when she wanted to be alone?
She would shut herself away in a room we use as a box room upstairs.
Would you allow me to go there?
Naturally, Louis, of course. I'll send you a servant to open it.
Thank you.
That's all I can tell you about the disappearance of your mother, Louis. I would liked to have been more helpful.
I shall stay on our trail and follow up any leads.
Thank you. We will meet later on to welcome our last guest. In the meantime, I shall get someone to open the box room upstairs for you.
Thank you.
The room was just opposite Mortimer's study.